Hey guys, and welcome to episode 36 of From the Island. In the previous episode, we shifted all our G slots up again and went for various different items. But as you can see by that early price check, we are starting off at roughly 43.6 mil. So the past couple of episodes, some of the items we've picked up are the Rangers items in terms of the Rangers tights and the Rangers gloves. Now they've been working really well the past few episodes, and we're just price checking them again to go back in to buy them again. So they're still maintaining the margins we've been dealing with, and it's still working quite well. So we'll be keeping on with them for at least for the first couple of flips for this episode. The Rangers tights as well are quite sporadic in their selling price. Even though you'll see me put them in for a certain price, I do think they're the kind of item which we could push beyond what they're put in to sell for. So there's always room and scope to do a lot more with them, I think, in the future as well. But what I've done there is I've actually put all our cash into more Rangers gloves, and we've not been able to put in an offer for some tights just yet, but we will do later on in the episode as well. The Gilded Squares are the last survivors of our little sort of delve into gilded items. They do seem to have been the best flip completely, compared to the Gilded 2Hs, which are probably the second best item. You just seem to get a lot more profit in the long term. I mean, for the price of 1 2H, you could buy 4 or 5 square shields, and you'll just make a lot more profit in the long term. And because of how high that buy limit is for the Gilded Squares, any extra money we have now which we don't need, we can just keep pumping into the square shields. So we're not sat with so many mil in our invo which we can't use up. The rainbows was the item which we ended up going for the last slot on the GE, which we left on the previous episode. They just had a decent margin, like they always do. Rainbows are probably one of the best items we've dealt with in this series for sheer margin. They just struggle to sell just due to how niche of an item they are and the fact that they've got no real use. I think they're just a cosmetic item. So hopefully they can keep buying as well. They buying a bit slow, but they do have quite a high margin in what we're buying at. And the extra money we've got left from putting our offers back in, we're going to pick up some Rangers tights. And then that should be it for all our offers for the first update of this video. So, going to go into the next one, see how we get on, and we'll update from there. So, logging back in, we've had some updates. The Gilded Square shields have sold, and as we mentioned in the previous clip, Gilded Squares and the Rangers items are the ones which are really sort of shifting quite well. So, the Gilded Squares, we're just going to put in for the same sort of margin we had previously, along with the Rangers gloves. We're just going to keep doing the same for them, along with the tights as well. We've got a bit more money to play with, so we'll only just increase how many we're going to buy this time, but we will go in for the same sort of prices before. Now we can go for V8 rather than just for 2, which we could afford previously. But apart from that, yeah, the Rangers items really are very good, and we did go and pick up some Katanas, just because they seem to have, at the time, the best margin which we could find. And they are always seem to be in the fallback item of what we've got, but we're managing to pull about 20k margin per Katana, which, when we've got such a low amount of cash because we put so much into the gilded pieces, the team's cape and the ham joints, it's always nice to have something like the Katanas which you can always fall back on, which you know you'll make a little bit of money on as well. The rainbows are just being a little bit tight in buying, so we're just going to put in an offer to sell them and get rid of them, just because we're starting to, in the next wave of when we've bought and sold like the square shields and the Rangers items, we'll have a lot more cash to deal with. So we can deal without having the rainbows tying a slot up and also tying up some money in the invo as well. So we'll get rid of them and I'll update with you when they sell. So coming back, we've managed to pick up all the Rangers gloves and tights. We're starting to get rid of the ham joints, and we've also bought some more team capes as well. So because we've managed to sort of keep stuff turning over quite well and things are selling, the rainbows we just couldn't get rid of, so I've kept them in the invo. But we had the money available to actually buy and flip a team cape, so that's what we're going to do instead. But compared to all the other items we're currently flipping, the Rangers items are just thoroughly outperforming everything else. I'm a bit sad really we didn't pick them up earlier because they are working that well. And each time, especially if the Rangers gloves are flipping, we're pretty much making about 200 to 250k a time. And once you keep turning them over, I'm managing to turn them over like twice a day. So just from the Rangers gloves alone, I'm making 500k a day just from their flips without anything else. The only concern at the minute with all our items is that the Armadale boots we did buy for that high price because they had such a high margin. It did seem to be sort of a mistake for us to go in. They have crashed since, and we're just trying to break even on them just to free up the amount of money we've got stuck in them. So that's pretty much an update. We're not doing too bad though. We've sort of broke past the 44 mil barrier, and we're doing really well. So I'll update you when some more stuff sells, or if we start to move the G slots back round. What I'd like to do is hopefully get rid of them armor boots, get rid of the ham joints, and also get rid of the katanas, and just keep the other 5 items moving as quick as possible. But yeah, we'll come back with any updates. So logging back in, the Rangers gloves and the Rangers tights have sold again, and we've managed to buy another 10 of the Gilded Squares. So, as previously stated in previous clips, the Rangers items really are the MVP so far, and they are carrying us hard to that 50 mil goal. The team capes haven't been too bad either this episode. Some do work better than the others. The team cape X has been quite slow to sell, but team cape I actually has a decent margin and is quite cheaper than the others, so I can do a couple at a time as well. But the Gilded Square shields, just going to put them back into sell, and the Rangers gloves and skirts, we'll just put them back into sell at what we've originally bought them for, and just keep that margin turning. The tights, I can sometimes try and push for a little bit higher than what I've bought for, or what the margin did say, because they do seem to push better than the gloves. The gloves do seem to be quite steady and stable at the prices that they are. But yeah, that's pretty much been this episode. We've actually made quite a lot of progress for this episode, a lot more than the previous episodes, and we're getting so much closer now to the final goal of 50 mil. But I think in the next couple of episodes we'll get it finished and chalked off. But like I mentioned in the endings of the previous episode, I am looking to do something with this account with that 50 mil after this, whether we can just see what we can grow the 50 mil to in terms of flipping, or use that 50 mil for money making methods and then go from there and see what we can make with them. I'm all for suggestions, so if you do have any, please leave them in the comment section. I know this is a bit of a shorter video, but I just didn't want to hammer with just another long one on what we're doing in terms of flipping, especially because this episode we have just basically run through the same sorts of flips again. But if you guys have enjoyed, please leave a like, and if you've enjoyed the content on my channel, please hit subscribe. We are a lot better than what we've been the past couple of weeks and months, and we are getting there to make sure we are a bit more consistent with our uploads as well, so more content will be coming to you guys. But yeah, please subscribe, and if you've got any suggestions on any future content you want to see, or anything which we're doing wrong in the videos, please just drop it, and I'll always reply to any comments I see as well. So hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.